I'll bet that no matter how long you found yourself following Jesus, that you've prayed a prayer that was something like this: Lord, give me safety on this journey or with this task that I have before me. It's not an uncommon prayer that we followers of Christ ask that God give us protection. Ezra had taken on the task of bringing the artifacts from the temple back to Jerusalem to be placed back in the temple and much of the treasury of the temple. So there were, in today's economy, probably millions of dollars worth of gold and silver and bronze articles. He'd already asked the king, or told the king, that God was going to give them protection on their journey. Some were fearful that with such a long journey and so many people on this caravan and no protection, that he needed to also ask for an army to protect, and he felt bad about that. In fact, the passage in Ezra that I want to share with you is verse 21. It says, chapter 8, "There by the Ahava Canal I proclaimed a fast so that we might humble ourselves before our God and ask Him for a safe journey, for us and our children with all our possessions. I was ashamed to ask the king for soldiers and horsemen to protect us from enemies on the road, because we had told the king, the gracious hand of our God is on everyone who looks to Him, but His great anger is against all who forsake Him. So we fasted and petitioned our God about this, and He answered our prayer." You know, I said that it's kind of a common prayer that we pray, that God give us a safe path or a straight path. In fact, it's interesting, this word in Hebrew that has to do with a safe path, actually another translation is a straight path. And when you think about the problem that the children of Israel had, and you and I have today, is that a lot of times the tasks that God gives us, we take these winding paths. We put ourselves in all kinds of danger because we simply won't humble ourselves and follow the clear paths that God has for us. Solomon tells us in Proverbs that if we trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding, you know, He will make our paths straight. God will make our paths straight. That's what Ezra was really wanting. He was wanting God to give them safe and straight journey. So when we pray that prayer for safety and protection, one of the things that I think we forget that Ezra clearly remembered, and I want to call your attention to it again, in Ezra 8 it says, "I proclaimed a fast so that we might humble ourselves before our God and ask Him for a safe journey." So as we take on big tasks at Point University, or as you take on big tasks just in your daily Christian life, the first step of securing the safe path, the straight path, is coming before the Lord in humility. The New Testament, Jesus speaks a lot about the idea of fasting as a part of our petitioning God, part of our expression of humility. So this week, I want to challenge you. Is there something you could fast from just for one day? I won't say what it needs to be, but could you take a fast as a part of your humility and submission? I'll do the same. And together, let's ask God to make our path straight, that we'll know clearly what directions that He has for us to go in our own Christian living, Christian walk, and also as Point University as we seek to accomplish God's will in the world today.